Hello, this is Brian Hool. I am a solutions consultant with Beyond 20, and today I want to venture into the exciting world of alternate ways to map specifics forms. Now, specifics forms are detail forms that appear in step 3 of an incident. So, if I am in an incident, let's go into our demo system here, and say I am logging my ticket. Cherwell has a section on the ticket where a detail form or a specifics form will appear based on how I've categorized my ticket. So if in this step 3, you'll see this investigate the incident area. So if I were to say, oh, let's call this a printing incident, well, I've got a printing specific form that shows up. If I change it to something else, email and calendaring, for instance, I'll get something different. I love this printing specifics because it shows all the kinds of ways that specifics are useful. So it's got first call resolution here. I can put things here for the tier 1 support to ask the customer on first call, and that promotes first call resolution. So is the power on? Are there any loose cables? And if they happen to resolve the call while going through these checkboxes, all the better. However, if they can't resolve the problem, they can capture additional information to pass up to the tier 2 support. So that is what a specifics form is. Now we're about to get into the admin stuff. So really we're going to talk about how do we know, that this service category or subcategory links to this specifics form. And the answer is group maps, and that's something we go to our admin tool for. We'll go into managers and we will go to group maps. And group maps are here, and group maps work well for the time that they were available to us, but we have a new way to do this. But before we go to the new way, let's look at the old way. So I'm going to edit this specifics group map, and you'll see basically what we were doing is we were taking a group object like specifics and the starting business object, which is incident, so it's what are we looking at, and then where are we going to, and then we're taking a first map field and a second map field, so the combination of values in these two fields would result in the display of a particular specifics group member. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch here. And for printing, you'll see specifics printer shows up. So that worked well. However, it was a little inflexible, let's just say. But there is a new way to handle this. So I'm going out of that. I'm staying in my admin tool. I'm going to look at the incident business object here. This is the structure and of incident. And the key field we want to look at is specifics type ID. And this holds the key, the foreign key for specifics that display on this form. And it drives what appears. So it's right here. So let's take a look at this. Specifics type ID is 42 characters in length. That means it's one of our Cherwell GUIDs or rec IDs. And if we go to validation and auto-populate, you'll see that it is populated using a map. If I drop that down, it's the specifics group map. However, we have an exciting new way to validate fields in Cherwell, and that is key to the new way of doing things. So let's look at that new way of doing things. If I go under other validation types, we have an expression, which we could do before. We have the valid team or work group, but in recent versions of Cherwell, we now have valid business object name. And this is exciting because we can now select the names of business objects, including members of a group. And if I change that to specifics, I can now select on a given business object a particular specifics. Now, we're going to do that here? No, but stay with me. Because what we can do is go out of this incident record. And this may already be set up if you have a later version of the content. If not, if you have an older version of the content, but you've upgraded your Cherwell, this is for you. So I'm going to go out to my lookup tables, and I want to find incident subcategory, because this is where the magic is going to happen. I'm going to indicate a specifics based on the subcategory that is selected. So it's going to function slightly differently, but I think the benefits and functionality are worth it. So if we go to Edit Business Object, I don't have a field yet set up to do this, so I'm going to add one. And I'm going to call this specifics. And we'll give it a good size of 100 characters. And now I'm going to edit this guy by double-clicking in. I'm going to go to validation and auto-populate. And I want to use my new validation type. So I'm going to select my BizOb name. It's going to be members of a group and specifics. I don't care about the custom error right now, but that's what I want. So that this field will now validate off of the names of specifics. Good. Now I need to capture that type ID, that GUID, so that I could pass it along to incident. So let's look at that. And we'll call this one specifics type ID, just like an incident. And that's going to be 42 characters, as we all know. Rec IDs in Cherwell are 42 characters. So now what do? Well, populate it under validation and auto-populate. So auto-populate. I'll tick auto-populate, and I want to select my specifics field that I just created, the one that is validated off of the business object type name. But well, look what I have here. This special option shows up because I've got specifics validated with that new special type, business object ID. So I can select that now, and specifics type ID will populate with the business object ID of the specifics form that I select. And that's exactly what I want, because I want a particular specifics type to appear in that form in incident when the subcategory is chosen. So this is part of it. So I'm passing the ID, that business object ID, from subcategory up to incident. But right now this is the first step. So let's take a closer look at how we're doing that in subcategory. We can save that. Now our next step is to complete the link between subcategory and incident. So let's go back out to our object manager. We're going to go to our major business object types. Going to click incident. We're going to go to edit business object. Now, scrolling down, we need to find our specifics type ID, because we're going to change how that validates, or rather how it auto-populates. Find that. There it is, specifics type ID. So we're going to go into validation and auto-population. We're going to untick populate using map. We're in new charted territory now. So we're going to go to auto-populate. We're going to change, we're going to populate when there is a change in table incident, and the field is, you guessed it, subcategory. Because now I can take a field from incident subcategory, and that field is going to be specifics type ID. So anytime I change my subcategory now, it's going to auto-populate my specifics type ID from that table. And life is good. So we can save that, and let's go ahead and publish that, and then we will take a look at our results in just a second. And we're back. So what we just did was we set up in subcategory validated field in order to pass up the type ID of a particular specifics form to the incident when that subcategory is selected. So we're almost done with this setup, and then we'll contest it and see. The next step, we've published our blueprint, and we've reloaded the definitions in our Blue Pill client, and we're in table management. We went to tools, table management, and now I'm looking at the incident subcategory table itself. I'm looking actually at the table data. So I've grouped my subcategories by service, and I'm looking at my printing service. You remember that's the one we did from the demo. So let's go in and look at each of these. I went ahead and in my specifics form, I can now select a name of a given specifics business object. And I've set them up with order form and toner order forms and the printer and an access request. I can do whatever I like. And of course, these all map. If we go back to our blueprint, what I'm selecting here are the names of these business objects. So I've got that set up. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's see how this works. So we're no longer using the group map. We're using our specifics as indicated on the subcategory record. So I'm going to go to a new incident, select printing service, desktop category, and request desktop printer. And there you have it, folks. A new way to do specifics in Cherwell Service Management. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Cherwell videos. Thanks.